One of the men behind this threat is someone you know.
Tony, as a character, coming back was obviously that's we're taking a chance here that is it a jump the shark moment. He's we saw him die. How can we bring him back? And are we is this a cheesy soap opera conceit that we're just invoking? And the relevance of Tony is only insofar as he illuminates Jack's character. And we had a character who was from Jack's past, kind of a Heart of Darkness story. And I wrote a draft of it where there was another character entirely, and I was hoping to go after a Gary Oldman, kind of either Gary Oldman or someone like him, and frankly, it still was flat on the page. And until I just typed, I forget what the character's name was, Gary, let's say, but suddenly when it was Tony, it became interesting. Season 6 was this, widely perceived. I'm not going to say failure, but it was a disappointment. And again, I really think it was. I think the story, became a runaway story on its own terms. I mean, the fact of the matter is I'm very proud of a lot of season 6. I also, that's not to say, I do agree with the consensus that it was, our weakest creative year. That said, it was set in LA, there were some repetitions, and I think we started feeling that the show was getting a little, long in the tooth in certain regards. We knew things had to change. We could either fold, our hand or really go at it, and we're very stubborn guys here, and we really said, let's make it really good.
Mr. Bauer, I have to advise you that many of the questions that we're about to pose to you are of a legal nature and might result in answers that could incriminate you.
I understand that, Senator.
We have this weird dance with reality, and Abu Ghraib and obviously Guantanamo and a poorly prosecuted war, and I think some of the blowback from our place in the world, I think, affected the show. In answer, in part to that, some of those charges that we were somehow handmaids to some kind of tolerance that the public had toward torture, but also to the general atmosphere. The world has changed. I mean, the world it's a different world now than when Jack was born, and it just felt like we had to address that, and we addressed it fairly directly in the Senate subcommittee. It's another job description, it's something very new to me, and what was once kind of an annoyance and something I just sort of had to, I was even able to say no to at one point. I'm no longer able to do that. And I did write one, to Gary Newman, I said gingerly, I said, Gary, I can't, I really, I can't do this, creative integrity, blah, 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 blah. I got a very terse response. I know you'll find a way. I mean, and so clearly this has become a non-negotiable part of doing business and doing what I do. And my job then is to do it as organically as possible. Jack as a character is a tricky character. How do you make him feel like he's a character who's moving forward in time and through his life? And I think to the extent that he can do that, Kiefer, and we can do it as writers and support him with the material, it will be compelling and interesting. And once it starts getting, not that, I think you'll know it and the lights will go out.